Here's what most international observers aren't talking about. Xi Jinping just made a power move that could reshape the future of one of the world's most contested regions. In an unexpected turn that caught global attention, China's President Xi Jinping appeared before a massive gathering of 20,000 individuals in Tibet, delivering what many are calling a carefully orchestrated display of authority. This marks only his second presidential appearance in the heavily monitored territory since taking office, and the timing couldn't be more significant. But here's where it gets controversial. Xi's visit wasn't just a diplomatic formality. Standing before the enormous crowd, he openly celebrated what he described as the local administration's success in waging a comprehensive battle against separatist movements. A direct reference to the decades-long resistance that Tibetan communities have maintained against Beijing's control. The 72-year-old leader's decision to travel to Lhasa, positioned at an elevation that presents genuine health risks for someone his age, sends an unmistakable message about his determination to assert dominance over this strategically crucial region. And this is the part most people miss. Xi's carefully prepared remarks made no reference whatsoever to the Dalai Lama, Tibet's revered spiritual leader, who has been living in exile in India since his dramatic escape in 1959. This deliberate omission speaks volumes about the ongoing tensions. The foundation of governing, stabilizing, and advancing Tibet lies primarily in maintaining political order, social harmony, ethnic cohesion, and religious peace, Xi declared, according to official government transcripts of his address. The timing of this Wednesday visit raises eyebrows for another reason. It occurred merely 2 months after the Dalai Lama made a groundbreaking announcement, but his own office, rather than Chinese authorities, would determine his successor. Beijing's leadership, however, maintains their exclusive right to oversee this monumentally important decision. The 90-year-old spiritual leader has consistently promoted what he calls a middle path approach, seeking authentic self-governance for Tibet while remaining within China's borders. Yet, Beijing continues to brand him as a dangerous separatist threat. While Chinese officials insist that Tibetan people enjoy complete religious freedom, human rights organizations argue that Beijing is systematically dismantling a cultural identity that spans centuries. When BBC journalists visited a Tibetan monastery in Sichuan province recently, monks spoke candidly about being stripped of basic human rights and facing ongoing oppression and persecution from the Chinese Communist Party. Beijing categorically rejects these allegations, maintaining that living standards throughout Tibet have dramatically improved under Chinese governance, while denying any systematic suppression of human rights or freedom of expression. The Communist Party formally established what it now calls the Tibet Autonomous Region, officially termed Xizang, in 1965, following a failed independence uprising 6 years earlier that shook the region. Thursday's state-controlled media coverage painted Xi's unexpected appearance as a triumphant celebration, with every major newspaper and television program leading with the story. Published photographs captured the Chinese president being welcomed by traditional Tibetan performers and enthusiastic crowds. During his closed-door meeting with regional officials, attended by high-ranking Communist Party leaders, Xi promoted increased economic partnerships, cultural exchanges, and personnel cooperation involving Tibet. He also emphasized the importance of establishing a unified national language and writing system throughout the region. The Chinese president outlined the Communist Party's comprehensive strategy for Tibet, emphasizing what leadership considers the territory's 4 primary objectives: maintaining stability, accelerating development, environmental preservation, and border security, according to state media reports. These policies have already transformed daily life for Tibetan families through new educational regulations, requiring children to attend government-operated Chinese schools where Mandarin instruction is mandatory. Xi also called for stricter oversight of religious activities and stressed the importance of encouraging Tibetan Buddhism to align with socialist society principles. But here's what makes this visit even more significant. It coincides with the Communist Party's launch of construction on what will become the planet's largest dam. The massive Motuo Hydropower Station, situated on the Yarlung Tsangpo River flowing through the Tibetan Plateau, will eventually surpass even the famous Three Gorges Dam in scale and capacity. Once operational, this engineering marvel could generate triple the energy output of existing facilities. Beijing promotes the estimated 1.2 trillion yuan, $167 billion, 125 billion pounds project as prioritizing environmental protection while boosting regional economic prosperity. Yet here's where international experts are raising serious concerns. This new dam would give China unprecedented control over the transborder Yarlung Tsangpo river system, which flows southward into India's Arunachal Pradesh and Assam states, as well as Bangladesh, where it feeds the critical Siang, Brahmaputra, and Jamuna river networks. So here's the question that's sparking heated debates in diplomatic circles. Is Xi's surprise Tibet visit a genuine attempt at regional development, or a calculated display of power that could reshape water politics across South Asia? The implications extend far beyond Tibet's borders, potentially affecting millions of people downstream. What's your take on this complex situation? Do you see Xi's policies as necessary modernization efforts, or do they represent cultural suppression disguised as progress? The international community remains deeply divided, and the consequences of these decisions will likely unfold for decades to come.